Howdy and welcome to the Mighty Muddy Chuck channel. I'm Chuck. My camera broke. I'm having to use a webcam. It makes me look even worse than I look on the camera. Oh no. Makes me sad. So this is a follow-up to the video that I did, Reincarnation Between Lives. And I talked a little bit about looping it, and then, about how the people that may or may, they seem to remember past lives. They're in a primitive society. How they describe between lives is different than if they're in a technological society. Now, that might have been a little bit overbroad. I mean, you got differences. I mean, even within any given society, you have people from different backgrounds, and so, I mean, you can't say this society is all this or that society is all that, but I was speaking in a generality. But okay, I touched on a loop a little bit in that, about how things are a loop. I'm not going to replay all that, but if you're interested in the video, I discuss, how the different things are a loop. But one thing I didn't discuss about being a loop is that computer programs often contain loops. They contain an entry point for the loop, and then they often contain an exit from the loop. But often, if you've done any programming, you have the if-then clauses, you have the go-to clause, routine. So computer programs also have a loop. As some of you, or most of you, probably everybody's aware, there's something called the Mandela Effect, and that's where people have different memories regarding the past. Like from the movie Forrest Gump, life is or was like a box of chocolates. Whether Nelson Mandela died in prison or he survived in prison and became a great, a great leader or a respected leader. Bernstein or Bernstein Bears, or Bernstein or Bernstein Bears. I'm not really familiar with that anyway. Chartreuse. Oh my God. Red or green. Looney Tunes spelled with T-U-N-E-S or Looney Tunes T-O-O-N-S. Jif or Jiffy peanut butter. Sinbad is genie. Red, blue, alternate memories. Billy Graham's funeral on TV. Curious George, whether he had a tail or didn't have a tail. And then, of course, there's some residual effects. Like in this world, Curious George doesn't have a tail, but still, sometimes you will still see him with a tail, even though in this world he supposedly doesn't have a tail. So anyway, there's something called the Mandela Effect, and that's where people have different memories of the past. And some people, these people are smarter than me because I'm clueless. But they remember being taught in school that Earth is on the arm of Sagittarius. And of course, in this reality, in this world, Earth is on the arm of Orion. And so that's changed. The actual place of where Earth is has changed. What we cause is it just weird memories, or does it point to something? Does it point to something real? I don't know. Okay, now they've come up with something that they call a cold spot that's detected in space that can confirm the existence of parallel universes. And more to the point, it may point to why the Mandela Effect may exist. What if the universe we were in, the parallel universe we were in, it collided with this universe and they merged to become one universe, and when that merging happened, it pushed all the energy out of where the other Earth was, where the other parallel universe was, and it created the cold spot because all the energy was pushed out of it during the collision. Of course, that cold spot could have existed since the very beginning. The big so-called Big Bang. If the Big Bang is even real, I don't know. Most people accept it. I don't know. That was a hell of an orgy in outer space. So I shouldn't say that. Anyways. But now back to my point about loops, where things are in a loop. And the thing that I did mention in the previous video is that, like I was saying earlier, that when you're writing computer programs, they also can contain loops. And some people think that maybe what this world is a type of computer. Now, some people say that, and they say, well, that means the world isn't real. It's simulated, it's virtual. But why couldn't it be both a type of computer system? And when I say computer system, I don't mean like Microsoft or, Intel or Apple type computer. I mean, what if the system is similar in the way that it's set up and it's designed to a computer? And some people that are religious, they may say, "Oh, no, you're Satan talking. You're the devil. You're Lucifer. You presenting ideas is just not right. They're wrong. Don't do that. No, you're speaking for Lucifer." No, I hope not. But why couldn't the world be kind of designed similar to a way a computer system is set up and still back up religious doctrine? Because when you think about the way the people in going back in time before we knew about computers and such, the way they described God is all-knowing and all-seeing. I mean, my God, you'd think God was the Homeland Security. You'd think God had the system set up to run all these ciphers on all the email systems around the universe. Homeland Security. I'm sorry if I'm sounding like I don't mean to be insulting. But the point is if the system is set up similar to a computer system, then the beings, the superior beings that set it up, that system does lend itself to that complex, that God complex, being all-knowing. Because the computer system, we know, does provide a vast way to keep up with stuff and to spy on stuff and to know stuff you might not otherwise know. So why couldn't the God complex be computer-like? I'm not saying this has no soul, has no essence of being. I'm just saying the God complex might have similarities to a computer. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a soul. It doesn't mean that it's not real. It doesn't mean that it's virtual. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that the system, the computer type system, would lend itself to a type of God system, a God complex, that superior beings might have set up. That doesn't mean the world isn't real. It just means it's kind of computer-like. I mean, you look at genetic code of we humans and other animals and everything. You look at that genetic code, it's kind of like a computer code. And a lot of our world is, I mean, when science are trying to prove something, how do they try to prove it? They try to prove it through math. And that kind of, there is a mathematical system that drives the universe, and that is computer-like, because computers are also mathematically driven. So my point is what if this world that we are in is kind of computer-like? Now, why is that important? What does that have to do with the Mandela Effect? What does that have to do with reincarnation? Okay, say that we were on a planet Earth in a Sagittarius complex, and that computer system, that part of the computer system, that parallel universe, that particular computer system, it broke. It broke. Oops! Damn, Bill Gates, what the fuck you doing there, baby? You screwed the computer up. So, say that we were in a computer system, a type of computer system, and I know it's not like Windows. I mean, I know it's a lot more sophisticated than that. It's probably more sophisticated than even a quantum computer. But what if the system that we were in, it broke? And you go back to religious doctrine, and then you go back to what some other people that aren't really that religious, what they think and what they believe. They view where we're at, what we're in, this world. And I don't mean to offend people who have different beliefs. I'm just talking here, discussion, thought, what if. I'm not saying this is the way it is. But what if we are prisoners? What if we are in a system, in a loop, where we are prisoners? What if we are prisoners of a loop? Prisoners of a loop. Prisoners of a loop. And when that computer system broke, oh my God, there's going to be a major escape. Souls are going to start flying out of here. They're going to be free. And these souls, once they're not in this cage, they're going to be godlike because we were created in the image of God. And oh my God, they're not ready to be released. They're not ready to be released. They're going to wreak havoc. They're going to create all sorts of monstrosities. It's going to be awful. It's going to be havoc. It's going to be anarchy. We can't allow that to happen. So there was mass hysteria. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so this little dude walks up and he said, well, I got this other computer I've been working on. I don't have all the bells and whistles working yet. Rats have gnawed through some of the plugins. I just go. So, but the point is, there was another computer system that was available. And so all the souls that was in the broken computer, the computer system that broke, were moved to a computer system that was still functioning. But it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect yet. It hadn't been completed yet. The breakdown of the other computer system threw everything into hysteria, and it was just, oh my word, it was madness over on the other side with the superior beings and the God complex, and what we're going to do, we can't let these souls be released. They've got to be kept in their cage, their computer, their whatever you want to call it. So we were moved from Sagittarious Earth, the Sagittarius computer system, over to the Orion computer system. So where that computer was in the sky that housed that universe that we were in, when it was unplugged, because it was broken, it was a mess. When it was unplugged, it left a cold spot. The energy that drove that particular computer system, it was equivalent of unplugged, and when it was unplugged, it left a cold system. Now that means no matter what computer system that you're in, when you look out, you may see places where other computers are, where other computer systems once were. So that I can't begin to explain it. But so even if that cold spot does point to a parallel universe and a merging of universes, maybe it's also kind of like we were in one computer, it got broke, it got fucked up, it wouldn't work anymore, and souls were about to begin making a major mass escape to places unknown, unimagined, to start building their own computer systems. And so the God complex, the superior beings, very quickly, they move to transport us into a different computer system. Now, I don't know. I'm just talking here. It's an idea. I like to write stories, and these are stories that I'm going to start working on. So I'm just putting it out there. It's, just something to think about. I'm not trying to say this is the way it is, because I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I just think it's interesting. What if? Maybe. Perhaps.